What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Haven't been on here for a while, been having some business, but we back on. And I guess some news going on with Manny Pacquiao. I guess for Manny Pacquiao's camp, for Manny Pacquiao said that when it comes to Terrence Crawford, that he's already told Bob Arum that in order for that fight to happen, he needs $40 million. You know what I mean? And Manny Pacquiao can get, and Terrence Crawford can get $10 million, and they good. You know what I mean? And that's what it'll take to make the fight. And there's been a lot of backlash about that from a lot of people, basically saying, yeah, what the hell? Like, oh, Manny Pacquiao doesn't really want the fight, this and that. You know what I mean? He's trying to just get the biggest payday that he can get, and so he can get out the game. And he doesn't really want this fight with Terrence Crawford, because he's asking for 40 million. Because he's been there. Before it was 20 million. It's 20 million. Why is it 40 million now? Why is it 40 million now? But the reality of the situation is, what exactly people are expecting? Were they expecting the amount of money to just stay frozen at 20 million the entire time? That 20 million when he was supposed to get 20 million was a long time ago. That was back then when he was with Top Rank. Years ago, when he was Top Rank, the figure was $20 million. As time progresses, depending on where you're at and the space that you're in, those amount of money can go up. When Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather were supposed to first fight, the guaranteed purses was $25 million each. It was supposed to be a 50-50 deal where the guaranteed purse was supposed to be $25 million each flat. And then obviously plus then 50-50 everything else. But the guaranteed purse was only $25 million. By the time that fight happened, as we saw, it was nowhere near that. Floyd Mayweather alone got himself a $100 million, upfront check. Things had changed. There was one point where Floyd Mayweather was willing to go up to 2 weeks. They were able to stop testing 2 weeks before the fight. But Manny Pacquiao didn't take that. Manny Pacquiao walked away. After that, I was like, hell no. It's all the way now. We do this fight. We do testing. It's all the way. And it wasn't a 50-50 fight when they fought either. Things changed. Dak Prescott, he's a Cowboys quarterback, right? Franchise tagged him this year for $37 million because they couldn't come up with a deal. At one point, they could have signed that boy to a long-term deal where $32 million a year worked out fine. But Dallas said, nah, we're not going to do it. We don't believe that you're the quarterback for us. We're not sure if you've truly proven what you're worth. Progressed, kept doing good himself. The prices of quarterbacks kept going up. All of a sudden, it was $35-36 million. Dallas still didn't sign him. Dallas, slow with the feet. They finally say, all right, we'll give you $35 million. What's it called? A year. The boy got a new agent. Agent sitting there like, huh? $35 million? What the F you talking about? They got to give you at least 40. And now they're stuck in a position and they didn't want to pay him that. The guy gets hurt. And even though he's hurt, they franchise him. They give him $37 million. He gets hurt. With the play that was going on, his stock actually rose because they saw that what's happening with the team without him being on the team. And now if they don't want to franchise, if they want to franchise him again, they got to pay him $39 million. $38 million, I think, something like that. And at that point, there's no point in him signing a long-term deal because next year if they want to franchise him for the last time, they got to give him $50 million. Which ironically will all end up being $40 million a year, by the way. As time went, things changed. Manny Pacquiao, that $20 million they wouldn't give him when he was with, Top Rank, that he believed he was worth. Once he left Top Rank, he went to PBC. He went to Al Heyman. He got $20 million to fight Adrian Broner, guaranteed. He got $20 million for that. He got $20 million guaranteed when he fought Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, he got $20 million for that. So that's no longer, hey, this is the big fight. This is the big fight money now. That's his minimum now. That's his bare minimum now. $20 million now is his bare minimum. That's the floor now. That's no longer what he considered a peak value. That it's no longer that anymore. That's the floor now. So if he's gonna do a fight, let's say with somebody like a Earl Spence, if he's gonna do a fight with somebody like a Terrence Crawford, the amount of funds that you're gonna have to pay him is gonna have to be substantially higher, because he understands what his worth is when it comes to a fight like that. He understands what that fight's gonna make, period, and he understands what that particular fighter becomes if they are able to beat him. The stratosphere that it launches them into. So you got to pay for that. You're going to have to pay for that. If Manny Pacquiao ends up fighting Earl Spence this year, I promise you his guarantee will not be no damn $20 million. His guarantee will be $30, $40 million plus. It's going to be 30, 40. That's just what it is. And Fox will pay for it. They'll pay to do that. Even if they're paying a premium, they'll pay for that premium. The question is what's Top Rank doing? What are they willing to do in order to progress this man to the heights that he's capable of going to? And what's crazy about the fact that people are bugging out about the fact that he's, asking for $40 million, at the same token, they're like, Terrence Crawford's only going to get $10 million for the fight? How he's going to say Terrence Crawford's only going to get $10 million for the fight? That's crazy. Hold up. Terrence Crawford is making $3.5 to $4.5 million a fight. So that $10 million would be double what Terrence Crawford makes in a fight. Double. So Manny Pacquiao shouldn't ask for double what he usually gets for a fight of this magnitude. But Terrence Crawford should get paid more than double what he usually gets paid? It doesn't make sense. The fact that someone would say that $10 million is not enough for Terrence Crawford shows how big of a fight that is. That right there shows how big of a fight that is. And shows what can be made of a fight like that. Because at $50 million, to take the 10 and the 40, they're going to make that in the fight. When you're talking about the gate, when you're talking about the people that are going to be involved in that fight as far as sponsorships, you take that into consideration. The pay-per-view bout, what that's going to make, closed circuit seats, what people are going to be paying from all around the country, the world, as far as licensing fees to show that fight, they're covering that easy. And Manny Pacquiao understands that. He knows that. He understands his value. He understands what he brings to the table. So people shouldn't just automatically, just brush off what he says like they did last time. Because the same things people are saying now is the same things they were saying when he was asking for $20 million to fight Terrence Crawford back then. And clearly the man understood his value, because when he changed to a different platform, he got the money he was looking for. So he clearly understood his value. When Floyd Mayweather fought Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather took $25 million. Oscar De La Hoya ended up making over $70 million off that fight. But Floyd Mayweather understood what he could become. He understood the doors that would be open to him. He understood that at that point he would become the man. He understood the heights that fight would propel him. This is a fight where Terrence Crawford is the favorite. Heavy favorite. So if you can take $10 million and fight this man, the way it will propel you to, you should be cool. Yeah, let's do that. It's not a thing where you're jumping up 2 weight classes to face a guy that's bigger than you, where you're taking some daunting challenge. That's not what it is. It's not what it is whatsoever. And if ESPN believes in Terrence Crawford, they should have no issue paying that money to Manny Pacquiao. Because also remember, Bob Arum is the same guy that's robbed this dude of tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Bob Arum is known for playing people when it comes to their funds. Even when you have a good contract, you don't know what it's going to be when it comes to him taking those funds and giving it to you the way he's supposed to. Everybody's going to court for this guy. Everybody. So when you have that reputation, you're going to have to pay a premium regardless anyway. You're going to. That's why when it comes to all this PBC fighters saying, hey, I'll fight over on that platform, it ain't no $2.5 million and then give me my money in the back end. Nah, homie. I need my money in the front. I need my money up front because I know how it is with you. And I'm not going to play these games and have to go to court for the next 5, 6, 7 years in order to get my funds. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bother with that. So you got that aspect of it anyway, regardless, because you're asking this man to go onto your platform. Okay, going to ESPN, your network, in order to do this particular bout. But in general, people should stop with the whole, oh my gosh, how dare he? The man understands what his value is. Earl Spence versus Manny Pacquiao fight happens. Manny Pacquiao's going to make $40 million off in that fight. He's going to make that type of funds. 35, whatever it is, high 30s, mid 30s, 40. It's going to be around there. That's the type of fight it is. That's a big fight. That's $1 million. That could be a $1 million pay-per-view fight. That's 700,000 to $1 million pay-per-views. That's a massive gate in Texas. Massive. The merch that will be sold when it pertains to that fight, the sponsors that will be involved in that fight would be ridiculous. The way Fox would be involved in that fight, that thing would be in Jerry's world. So when Manny Pacquiao is looking at fights like with a Terrence Crawford, he understands what an Earl Spence fight also could get him. And the type of funds it would generate for a fight like that. On his own side where he doesn't have to worry about none of the BS at all. So he's going to take all that into contention when talking to you about Terrence Crawford. It's the same risk. Same risk. So he's making sure he gets that reward. But it is what it is. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.